Time of the week again for your weekly dose of good news. But before we get to that, let's hear some good news from our premier sponsor. That's the cable, and we'll be right back.
At The Cable, we know being local means supporting our own, and our customers deserve the best. Our customers deserve platinum. So now, all customers of The Cable qualify for our new Platinum Loyalty Card. An elite MasterCard experience that lets you support your own like never before. Instantly send money to any Platinum Loyalty member at home or around the world. Shop online or in person anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Save with no interest and zero annual fees. And the best part? If you're a cable customer, you are already pre-approved. Just visit the Cable building in Bastere or sign up online at www.thecable.net. Get your Platinum Loyalty Card today because you deserve platinum. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. Thank you to the cable for coming on board. It's been a wonderful journey so far, especially this time last year when I didn't even have a show. And even when a show started, I didn't have a sponsor. And now we have actually a sponsor playing every week. And I cannot help but say thank you again for them partnering with us for some good news, because they always have good news, right? Well, this week, my gosh, this week has been, trying, just being home and, just being alone with your thoughts. It's just not been the best of times for me. But that's why this show actually is needed. That's why I'm happy for this show, because preparing for the show just gives me that little jolt of that burst of positivity to come and share with you guys. So, in fact, on the note of being thankful, yesterday as I was, on my computer, it was late in the night and, the rain was outside and I was like, yeah, this is great. And I just felt something crawling on my foot and I looked down and it was this massive centipede. And
we're different.
And, it was like, I've heard people getting bitten by centipedes before. And what it feels like, I haven't experienced that. I mean, knock on wood, but this was huge. And, anyhow, that thing touched me, right? Well, I got up and, I used a chair. The only thing I had was a chair. I couldn't find anything because that thing was moving fast. I had to aim with 4 legs of a chair trying to kill this thing. And I actually got it at the end of the day. So I'm thankful for not being bitten by that centipede. May it not rest in peace. All right, let's get on some good news. What's been going on? Mr. Producer, I want to hear music in my ears because it makes me feel vibrant and positive. Anyway, what's going on in these parts? COVID has been dominating the airwaves. And I think that, while this is a polarizing topic, it's very polarizing because you have people who are benefiting from the pandemic. We have people who are struggling from the pandemic. You have people who are, who it's not contributing to their overall mental health in a positive way. And you have others who are strong enough to withstand this. That being said, what's been going on globally has been this trend towards vaccination. And again, it's a polarizing topic. I like to be an optimist and I like to look for the good in all these situations. And all I'm saying is that we're continuing to see this trend towards a path back to normalcy because the deaths have plummeted and so also have the rate. And right here in St. Kitts, we're getting so close to what they would term as our own herd immunity by virtue of 69.4% of our target population having received the first vaccine and 57.2 fully vaccinated. That's huge. And it's worth celebrating. I know, again, this is polarizing, but at the end of the day, we're not seeing any other alternative towards normalcy. And if we do not want these continuous lockdowns and uncertainty and people dying and all that stuff and politicization of all these issues, then it's worth celebrating that we, as a people, have acted in a way that will get us back to normal by virtue of the vaccine. I am not going to speak about our other behavior, which is not what this show is about. I'm just happy that we have taken a step closer to what's going back to normal, and what's being seen globally. For instance, in Wales, for the first time ever since the pandemic began, this week they saw 0 weekly deaths for the first time since the pandemic began. And they are being vaccinated, I think, by the same vaccine that we've been getting, which is the AstraZeneca vaccine. And another point to note is that this is saying, at least from the public health in England, that the AstraZeneca vaccine is 92% effective against hospitalization after 2 doses for the Delta variant. So that's good news. Again, it's polarizing. I'm just reporting that there are things that are happening that are getting places back to normal. Whether you are for it or against it, you depend on an economy of moving parts, moving people, trade, and commerce. And that can only happen if there's health. And if there's no health, then that doesn't happen, you know? So let's just celebrate the people who have taken the risk, who have tried their best to get us back to normal. And the rest of us who are not there yet should at the very least be grateful. And those of us who have taken that risk should also understand and be empathetic towards people who haven't reached that stage yet. At the end of the day, we all depend on each other, okay? We're all in this together, all right? More good news. What's been going on? This is an interesting story. I don't know how to sew. I wish I did, but this story that talks about the sewing machine project is mending lives stitch by stitch. Yes, sewing is a craft that has been passed down through ages from mother to daughter and from father to son. Traditionally, it has also served as one of the few consistent sources of income for women, especially marginalized ones. Margaret Janowski learned to sew from her mom, and as an adult, rather an avocation than a vocation, it wasn't something that she pursued full-time, but she enjoyed it enough that she taught sewing classes and created clothing for her first child. And in 2004, in the wake of the tsunami that devastated Sri Lanka, the story of a woman whose dream of becoming a tailor was dashed after spending years saving up to buy a sewing machine struck a chord that resonated with this lady. And she basically said, I could easily make a living without my sewing machine. That was not the dream. That wasn't true for this woman. And so what did she do? She went and got some sewing machines and sent them to Sri Lanka. And her initial thought, saying here, was that just get a few of some used ones and send them. But she outlined her plans to the local news and the project took off a life of its own. And so many donations started rolling in. And so they've donated 3,350 sewing machines to recipients. And this has improved the quality of life in this particular area. All right. Now, this other story, oh my gosh, I watched this video of this famous artist who went viral after fans learned that he was homeless. So this talks about how this guy met this artist homeless on the streets. And what did he do? He found out that he was essentially somebody who used to be famous, who I guess he lost his art studio in a fire years ago. He had painted for famous people, I think including Muhammad Ali and a whole bunch of stuff. And before you know it, this TikToker helped this homeless artist earn $100,000. So you go from being homeless to doing this just by virtue of getting his work out there, getting him to paint again, creating a website for him to sell his work, and that just going viral. And so now this artist is back on his feet. And why is this important? Again, when you see a need, you feel a need. You know, a lot of us can help. A lot of us can do something to get people to the next level or get people out of their where they are. It doesn't necessarily need money. It could be that skill that you do have. You know, for me personally, I don't mind helping people deal with the internet and don't charge them a cent, because I'm like, listen, this is something that comes really easy for me, at least troubleshooting and whatever. And who knows, that act of kindness will help them send an email or whatever it is. That when you connect the dots, these little acts of kindness go a very, very, very long way. So yeah, when you see a need and you know that you can fill that need, then you do what you got to do. You do what you can within your power, right? Next story is, and the last one actually here is, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. Sorry about that. You know, when I get a call that says that my child might need my attention, I kind of have to drop everything, but everything is okay. I thought it was an emergency. And those who are close to me will understand why I actually opted to answer the phone just now. Oh my gosh. Anyway, last story talks about this high school senior who donated his college savings after landing a prestigious scholarship. Joshua Nelson landed a full ride scholarship to Southeast Missouri State University, and now he wants to pay it forward by donating his college savings to another high school senior. Now, the scholarship was valued at $43,000, and it will cover tuition and boarding for 4 years, as long as, you know, he meets the annual renewal criteria. Now, he wants to donate the $1,000 he saved for college. He saved $1,000. I mean, that sounds like a little bit, but it's a lot for a high school student who was able to save $1,000 to another college student in need. And he says it feels like it's important to be involved in your community and leave a legacy. And so basically, he has held many leadership roles and engaged in helping other students succeed. He is the president of the school's Multicultural Achievement Council, a program that encourages historically underrepresented students to maximize their academic potential and become college and career ready. So again, more good news premise on what I've been saying. You see a need, you fill a need. You see a need, you fill a need. And on that note, I am going to stop here. And we are going to hear from my guest, who is somebody who has seen many needs and filled them very, very many times. So quick, short break. And the next persons you're going to hear from are going to be myself and Donnell Estelle.
At The Cable, we know being local means supporting our own, and our customers deserve the best. Our customers deserve platinum. So now, all customers of The Cable qualify for our new Platinum Loyalty Card. An elite MasterCard experience that lets you support your own like never before. Instantly send money to any Platinum Loyalty member at home or around the world. Shop online or in person anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Save with no interest and 0 annual fees. And the best part? If you're a Cable customer, you are already pre-approved. Just visit the Cable building in Basse-Terre or sign up online at www.thecable.net. Get your Platinum Loyalty Card today, because you deserve platinum. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. We got a packed show. Packed show. So the next 45 minutes are just going to be this whole energy of awesomeness. Okay? So I want to welcome my friend, my teammate, my mentor, my role model, my musician in crime, my everything, we go way back. Donnie Esdale, Coach Esdale, everything. What's going on, man? Thank you for coming on board.
Hey, thanks for having me, Enote, Larry. That's why I know you as Larry.
There you go, Larry. Wow.
Good to be here, and whatever information you need for me to share with the public, I'm happy to do so.
Well, it's not about sharing, man. This is just conversation. It's about you. I don't think you've seen the show before, so the show is about you. You're the story, and I will be able to pull out stories that people probably haven't heard before. So
Wow.
yeah, I know, yeah, caught you off guard right there. But I always stop at asking, what's good?
I'm good. I'm be honest with you, I'm blessed. My family is blessed. Can't complain at all. Everything is going well. I'm a teacher, so I'm on vacation, so that's perfect for me.
Oh,
And so once I'm on vacation, I'm relaxing and enjoying the good summer.
we go way back, eh? And I met you 19 years ago. No,
Yeah.
20 years ago,
20.
2001. Yeah, and I competed at my first development meet, and I must say from that point onward, you were very intentional to take me underneath your wings, because you sensed I was a nutcase in my head, and I would have a tough time adjusting to the Kititian culture. So what do you recall from those early moments, those early times when we first met?
Well, when I first met you, you weren't a nutcase, first of all.
My head, I was just a nutcase, like I was a mental wreck.
No,
Like I
no,
couldn't,
no.
I was weak mentally. I was worried about this and worried about that, but you took me under your wing and gave me some confidence that I didn't have. And you know
And
this.
it's not that you were nutcase. I think you were new to the country, new to the track team, new to the track environment in St. Kitts, and you were very excited, first of all, and very excited. And I think I saw that talent in you from very beginning, and you always had a very good attitude. So I'm not surprised you're doing a show like this. This was your nature back in 20 years ago. So I'm not surprised at all. But you were a very friendly guy, and I just had an attraction, an affinity for your type of personality, and you see that we were able to go together.
Wow. So prior to those days when I met you, or those years when I met you, what did I miss from Donnie? Like from a track and field perspective, like what was your experience leading up to those moments when I met you? What was Donnie involved with? What did I miss?
Well, from a track and field perspective, believe it or not, I did not start running competitive track and field until 1999. Of course, we did our sports days, Bastia High.
Wow.
Yeah, but a situation happened to me. I was in the weight room one time with at my friend's weight room, Terry Connor's weight room, and one of the athletes who was doing track, his name is Zaro. I don't know if you remember Zaro,
No.
Kean high school athlete, but that was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me out in the weight room and said he's the fastest, or he could beat me. And we were at Greenland's pasture, and he challenged me to a race on the pasture right there, and I beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So he asked for a rematch, and the second race was much closer, but the coach at the time realized that I had some type of running talent.
Who was that coach, by the way?
Raw.
Yeah. Raw was my first coach when I came to St. Kitts too.
Yeah, right. So he's the one. He said he identified that I had some talent in running, and from that little incident, my world changed. Track and field was my life right after that, up until to this.
So you weren't that little kid who was always a champion. You were a late bloomer.
Yeah, I was a very late bloomer in terms of competitive track. I always was competitive in high school, but you had people like Kim and those people.
Right.
Christopher Hensley. You don't remember those names, but those guys used to have my number in track and field in high school.
Corvin.
Yeah, so I was like fourth place and third place and fifth place, stuff like that. But after that, I decided to take it serious in 1999, and then I met you in 2001. That's 2 years after, so we were pretty much rookies there.
Wow, but you were quick, because you were dropping like 10.5s and 10.6 on grass. And granted, it was hand times, but you were a formidable talent for somebody who started late. So I think that might have been why you were somewhat the forgotten soldier when it came to international meets. That's what I would term it as. So how did you keep dedicated to the sport despite the numerous times that you were forgotten?
Yeah, because my motivation was never to be, how should I say it? I was never planning to be a professional track athlete ever.
Oh.
I was using track as an avenue to get into college, and
Ah.
my whole thing was to get higher education and move beyond just athletics. Because coming in at the age of, I think at the time I was about 20 to 23, my track career would have been probably 7, 8 years. So I didn't have much time to be in track. So I knew by the age of 30, 31, I would have to have a plan B. So my goal was to run fast to get into school. My good friend Delwyn and I used to have a little thing we used to say back in 2001, 2002. We used to put numbers on our legs and said each leg is like $50,000. So in other words, if you run fast, you get school money. And that was our whole motivation to get into a school.
And you got into Paul Quinn.
Yeah.
What was your
my
fastest
story.
times in your primary events before you got to Paul Quinn?
Back home it wasn't electronic. So basically I ran 10-4 back home, which wasn't electronic. But when I got to Texas, I ran 10-6 electronic. I think it was at TCU, 10-5 and 21 something. I don't remember at the time. But I wanna Kim at the time. Kim was the phenom. He saw opportunities in us guys back in St. Kitts, Delwyn, myself, Triscan Hensley.
Yeah.
And he provided opportunity for us to come to Texas to run and try to get our times down so that coaches could recognize us. So we drove up from to Dallas, and I drove right into the school facility and went to the coach and said, I'm here. I'm the best you got. So
Wow.
yeah, we thank him for that. He gave us the opportunity to go there. And then once we arrived there, I was able to sell myself and get a full ride at the school. And I was able to bring in Delwyn and others.
Wow.
And then we spread out into different areas.
That is giving me goosebumps because just earlier on the show, I was talking about, see a need, you fill a need, you see an opportunity for you to make a difference in somebody's life that does not necessarily involve money. And just from that one act of kindness from Kim, the trajectory of your life has changed, and the effect that you have also, the domino effect that you've had on others like Del Wayne, and I think Dolly went to Paul Quinn also, right?
Yes, he came through that.
Look at that. Look at that. This is crazy. So you got faster, but you would have had some challenges initially when you got to Paul Quinn, did you? Or you
Paul Quinn didn't have a huge endowment fund like those big schools, right? And you're going to a school with there's not much funding, and so the facilities were not up to par. But what I liked about Paul Quinn, it was a small school, and I think a small environment suited me well, right? As I said, my mission was never to become a professional track athlete. So it was about the education. I was pretty much doing what I wanted to do there at that school. I was able to become international student president and student government president. So I was getting my leadership skills.
Wow.
At that school. And so it didn't have a lot of the track stuff like world-class facilities like a LSU or USC or TCU or Florida.
Donnie, they didn't have an uphill track, okay? Like you had in Basti High. So whatever they had there was better than what we had down here. Interesting. Yeah. So, you got faster during the years at Paul Quinn. And I remember when you and Del Wayne finally broke 21 seconds, you came back to me. You said, listen, 20 points is easy to run. What was it that got you to run faster at Paul Quinn?
I think what got me to run faster, I must give Del Wayne a lot of credit. We were roommates at Paul Quinn. And Delwyn, he was a very disciplined athlete. He I'm not surprised where he's at. He was focused, he was on a mission, and we as teammates we pushed each other to higher levels. And that is always important for athletes to have someone to push them to where they need to go. And in addition to that, coming out of St. Kitts, we knew how difficult it was to get out. So we decided we're not going to waste the opportunity. No matter how difficult the circumstance or the situation was, we will never waste that opportunity because it would not have come again. And it was important for us to be successful in spite of the challenges we had. And I think we did pretty well.
But campus life, especially as a married man, how was that for you? I mean, and were you able to? I mean, that had to be. I don't know if it was difficult for you, but were you able to influence your peers in any way with like stuff from St. Kitts or anything unique?
I think that's a loaded question, so I'll answer it carefully. First of all, when you leave for college, there's a high level of sacrifice that you have to
Yep.
to take.
You left
right?
your job. You were at the bank.
Right. For example, I got married in the year 2001. I don't want to mix. No, 2000. Sorry, I don't want to mix
Right.
it. That 2000 July, right? And I was in school at 2003. I got my son in 2001. So you could imagine the type of
Wow.
sacrifice I had to make to leave my
Wow.
family. But I decided sacrifice now and I'll benefit later. So while I was there in 2003, my wife was here in St. Kitts, but after a year, she came up in 2004. Then I left campus, I think my sophomore year, and rented an apartment so the family could be together. But initially, it was a serious sacrifice I had to make, and I had to think about what would be best for my little family. Should I stay and work, I don't want to say a mediocre job, but get mediocre salary and still not progress the way I wanted to progress, or take the sacrifice now, and then in the future, we will be better off as a family. And I think I made the right decision.
Clear. I mean, but you had to make that decision twice though, because you came back.
Yes.
You came back and you began a new phase in your life as a teacher at Washi. What were you teaching?
Oh, business. A business and economics teacher at Washi.
Wow. And then
Go ahead.
you became a de facto coach for the school, right?
Yes. Washi. I'll tell you, Larry. All my experiences through my life, I appreciate them. Washi was one of the best experiences I had. The staff, the students, the all my friends that I met there. Most of them are still lifelong friends, and the experience was really good. My first principal, Mr. Gavaya, my second principal, Miss Gums, Cherise Gums, they were very helpful in my progress. And people need to understand sometimes, every time you make a step in life, it's just a building block to where you're going to be going. And that Washi experience was a very good experience. I learned a lot about sports management, organization, track and field, teams, team building, and leadership. And I could credit Washi when it comes to that, the aspect of athletics. Of course, I came home, I enjoyed my church also. I'm also a church boy, a church guy.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Being a part of my church family also helped the other side of my career, because it provided some balance, and that was something coming back to St. Kitts was very helpful for me.
Now, people may not know this, but you are a World Athletics certified coach. And people think coaching is just, you just go and tell people run 2 times 200 or whatever. But what level did you reach in your coaching certifications? And what were some things that you were doing wrong before that you learned how to do right during your courses?
Okay, that's a very, very good question. First of all, I was able to be successful up to level 5.
Wow.
But let me tell you something. There's a caveat to the whole certification thing. How it is with IWF, well, it's not World Athletics. There are 5 levels, and then you specialize into sprint and hurdles. And that was my specialization. So the coaching aspect of it, I was very good in obtaining those qualifications up to level 3. So when I went to the RDC in 2011, to RDC to do my level 3, I got the highest score in the Caribbean. So I didn't have to do level 4. I was moved on to level 5 because of my scores. However, when I did level 5, there was a big issue there that up till today, it's a strange issue that I had to deal with. I did a report on one of my athletes because there's a residency phase and there's a practical phase. So residency phase, I had very good scores as you, well, I will want to say as usual, but I had a very good score.
Okay.
And then there was a controversy about my report with young athletes and the development of young athletes using weights or not using weights and stuff like that. My report was between a number of discussions, and there's one guy, never forget his name, Gunther Lang from Germany. He decided that what I was trying to preach was not what IWF wants to preach in terms of what athletes should do at that age.
Wow.
Right. So now it was a good thing in my aspect, because what I realize now, people who are progressive in their thoughts, are progressive in their thinking, who are, I don't want to say ahead, but who have different opinions, school will always have a problem with that type of concept, and they will always challenge it. For example, when the dry face first came out with HSI and those guys, that wasn't even, when we started running Larry, that wasn't the word we knew about, the dry face.
Nope.
That wasn't nothing we knew about. But after HSI made it relevant with Morris Green and Otto Bolden, it became a word. When the Jamaicans started the toe drag,
What? Yeah.
all of a sudden, it's in the books now. All the biomechanics, all of a sudden, is need to use to get faster. So people who are normally progressive will have challenges sometimes with the status quo. And that was one of my challenges. But to answer your question, I believe coaching is an art more than a science, actually, though. Yeah, and that might be an interesting thing. People might disagree. The knowledge I received from all those coaching courses, it helped me to build a base to work with athletes. But you still have to have that teaching type of educator type of ability, the art of seeing differences in people in order for you to make that kind of critical adjustment that progress and move.
That's one of the reasons why I trusted you as my coach. When I wanted to make a comeback in 2011, I think it was 2011 or 2012, and I said, listen, Donnie, I just want to run at nationals. I want to run sub 11 and whatever. And I think you got me running 10.8 in 3 months. 3 months.
But you were very talented to do, Larry. It wasn't very difficult.
Dude,
you were very talented guy.
I think I was okay. I don't think I was talented. I think I'm.
Larry.
No. Listen, I never ran 46. I never ran 20 point. I ran 10. To be very honest, okay, let me be very, very, very honest with you.
Okay, be honest.
When 2010, when I came to run for nationals, the week before nationals, I'd run 21:07. And the week prior, I'd run 21:03, wind dated.
Yes.
Right? And I was the favorite to win. And
Yes, you were.
I came and I ran the 400 first, ran 47 high, and then the 200 was next, was whenever. And I lost, okay? I still ran 21:02 or whatever, and I came fourth. The week after,
That was a fast race, though.
it was fast. It was Antoine's coming out of 21 party, and believe it or not, the week after I was in such good shape, and I still this day I regret doing this. I decided to see what it would be like to run 100, just see what I would do, and I ran 10 flat. I ran 10 flat in training. And it didn't feel like I was running fast. So I was but during that little trial, my biceps femoris, my hamstring, had a little twinge, and that just ended my career, because the week after we were supposed to go to BVI, run a 4x1, I lost my spot, and then I just couldn't recover after that. And that's how I ended up working in technology, because I wasn't going to be, I had to choose. The opportunities weren't there anymore. So I couldn't go Pan Ams. I couldn't go anywhere because I could not qualify in anything. So yeah, that was that time. But I don't think I was as talented as I think I was capable. I think that if I had worked and dedicated my life towards track and field, I would have done okay. I don't think it would have been one of those like world championships qualifiers or whatever. But who knows?
I don't never agree with everything you said in terms of, but then again, you're such a versatile young man. You're able to do so many things.
I'm
But
coming back though next year, Masters. So
I'm gonna do masters too. So let's get it.
I love it.
I hope my hamstring hold up. That's the only thing.
But last year I tried making a comeback and I ran a 300 in under with no training. I haven't trained in years, and I still ran under 40 in flats. And then I started training, and then my hamstring kept going. But that's because I was not strengthening my muscles. So this time I'm going to definitely taper my comeback and slowly, don't rush it. Just trust the process. All right, that's enough about me. I still want to talk more about you because guess what? Your first experience as a head coach for St. Kitts came in 2015 as a head coach for the Carifta team, and then in 2016, head coach for Rio Olympics. Olympics, man. How was that? I just want to know, what was it like in real life to watch Wade Van Niekerk run 43.03 in real life? And how was that experience as a head coach to Rio? Like this rookie coach has all of a sudden head coach status to the biggest sporting event on earth. Like, how was that? And were you surprised?
If I was surprised with the selection?
Yes.
I originally wasn't the main choice. It fell in my lap, and I think probably sometimes when you get stuff, it's not necessarily that you're chosen initially, but by default you are the best choice in the end.
Manifest destiny, that's what it's called.
Yeah, that's the word, manifest destiny. My experience with Rio, well, it's mixed. Let me say that it's a mixed experience. My good friend, my physio Alisto, we spoke about this just before the show. Rio, let me talk about, as I said, this is good news, so I'm gonna talk about the real good stuff. It's an experience. Anyone who's in athletics or any sport, for a matter of fact, if you want to reach the pinnacle of your sports, that's the event you should aim to go to.
Right.
I think that you see, as you said, you see the world's best athletes, world best coaches. They're all in the same area. Believe it or not, the camaraderie is very good between the athletes and coaches, and the experience is a great experience. For me personally, when I go to meets, I'm working. Right, it's a difference when you go as a spectator. You could enjoy the whole experience much better, because you are a spectator and you're there to see all your favorite athletes. But when you're working, sometimes you have early mornings training, you're coaching, you're taking athletes to probably polyclinic, you're going to registration.
Oh wow, it's not fun.
No, but as a coach, that's the expectations. If you want to be a good coach at these events, you have to expect that you have to prepare your team, not only before but at the Olympics. You have to make sure the guys are okay, prepared, getting what they need and stuff like that. So in terms of that aspect of it, it's a lot of work. And well, if you really want to do it properly, it would be a lot of work, but the rewards after you put in the work are tremendous. And no one could take it away from you. You were an Olympic coach. No matter what the result is, you could always say you had the experience. I'm not really a pump and circumstance type of guy, so sometimes, for example, the closing and opening ceremony, you had to be in a line for 2 hours before you stadium. And it's
not fun though.
Yeah, when Saints do come in, the camera will show you like for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, but the athletes enjoyed it.
Of course, it's a bragging rights. Like, the TV is on you, you're waving to your friends and family, and everything.
Right. It's awesome, and everybody who's in athletics or any sport, whether it's basketball, athletics, football, it doesn't matter. Once it's an Olympic sport, I think that should be your ultimate goal. That's the pinnacle of your sport. Try to be the best and try to reach to that level.
Well,
So I appreciate those who chose me, and I appreciate the guys who were there and the female who was there. So it was very a good experience for me.
Well, speaking about the Olympics, what we have going on right now is some craziness in track and field. Track
It's a
fever,
good year.
track fever is real. I like track is like, my gosh, there's some world records that happened as recently as today.
Yeah.
You're not
Carsten
aware?
Warren.
Yeah, Carsten. And then almost world records last week, and then more world records. And so tell me, man, which one of these records or almost records was a jaw dropper for you?
Well, I'll be honest, the 400-meter hurdle records, I wasn't surprised that they would go. On the female side, those two ladies, Mohammed and what's her name?
Sydney McLaughlin.
Yes, Sydney, right?
Yeah.
Those two ladies, they go back and forth. And I think that record is going to break again this year.
It will, yeah.
The men's side, Warham, he been running extremely fast over those 400 hurdles, plus Rai Benjamin in the US trials.
Right.
So guys, when they do meet in the Olympics, I expect that record also to go again. What got me more excited this year though for track and field, I'm gonna tell you, the women's sprinters are on it this year. They are awesome.
Yeah.
The women's sprinters, the Jamaicans from Shelly Lane to Brianna to Sharika, and to the US sprinters, you have Shikari. She said call her Shikari, not Shikari.
It's Shakari.
Shakir, whatever. She said.
Shakari Richardson.
Richardson, that's her name.
Yeah. Gabby Thomas.
Yeah, the Harvard grad.
Ooh, she
And you
fine.
have the British Dina Asher
Dina,
Smith.
oh, she fine too. Fine and fast.
Yeah, plus you have the Africans. You have
Boma, the girl who ran 48.5 just yesterday.
oh yes, the 18-year-old one fine.
Yeah.
Plus you have, I think the women are just doing a great job this year in track and field. And what I like about it, Larry, and be honest with you, is not necessarily the track and field aspect of it, is that it's bringing people who are not into the sport into the sport.
That's true. Because
I like that.
both left a void, but now we're bringing people back in with some trash talk, but also some high levels of talent. And when we're starting to see more channels on YouTube featuring track and field. I don't know if you follow Ray's Take, but I'm a fan. I mean,
we ran against Ray. I think we ran against Ray in 2000 against him.
Yeah, man. The man, he's eccentric and he's polarizing, but he's very knowledgeable. I got to give it to him, and he's bringing more people into the sport, giving us a platform that we never had before, where we just he takes the risks that we wish other sports personalities would when they're giving.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm definitely a subscriber to him. Now let's transition to Jason Rogers. He was on my show 2 weeks ago, and he was someone that you always told me to look out for.
Yes.
If you were coaching him right now, what would you do differently to get him to legally break 10 seconds?
Now you want to put me in.
Nah, just asking. What are you seeing? What are you seeing that he could do?
Okay, let me just a disclaimer. Jason is one of my favorite athletes from the federation.
Right.
Has always been.
Right.
Not only because of his speed. This guy has such an excellent attitude.
Yep.
Humble spirit, and he's just a nice person in general. So he has always been one of my favorite athletes. I never coached him before. I never asked to coach him, and I'm a fan of Jason Rogers, and I'm so happy he's able to make the qualifying standard. Now, to answer your question, it would be looking at the outside without understanding the different variables that are attached to Jason's training and progress and stuff like that. His environment. It's easy to make an assessment in the back seat looking on, but when you're in the driver's seat, you see stuff that are a lot of different areas that might need adjusting based on what you're seeing on the ground. So his coach will have a keener eye and be able to make the adjustments based on what he's seeing. And I think the coach is doing an awesome job. But as a fan, if I'm looking on, I always pray and hope Jason is able to finish the last 40 meters of the 100 meters. I'm telling you,
Historically,
once he's-
that was always his Achilles
Yeah.
heel.
I don't even know if it's an Achilles heel because he's still running 10-0 with
Now
it.
back then it was just like I used to beat Jason.
Yeah, you
I
did.
used to beat Jason, like,
Yeah,
and
man.
I would know if Jason is in the race. I wouldn't panic because I'll say, you know what, I'm gonna pass you. I'm gonna pass you in the last 40. It was a given,
Yeah.
and then he got faster. So
I think Jason probably, and again, I'm looking from, I'm not seeing what's going on in his practice. I don't know what's going on, but his energy distribution might needs to be looked at, where he's applying all that energy. Because sometimes when it comes to your energy distribution, he might be using maximum. It's like a car. Okay, let me go to a car analogy. If you're driving a standard car, if you still drive standard cars, you can't keep it in the first gear and just keep
nope,
pressing.
you on bun or blow.
You can burn it out, right? The car wouldn't reach its true potential.
No,
Slowly transition the gears, you see the car move where it's supposed to be, and that's what he and his coach, I think, probably is working on right now. And I think he knows his weakness also. I'm not gonna be naive and think that Jason doesn't know what his weakness, and I think he's trying to work on it. And I just wish him the best at the Olympics. I think he will do well. I really do like Jason, and I wish him all the best, man.
man, those battles he had with Antoine back here,
Yeah, there was.
the
Remember those days?
epic. 10:01, 10:03, 10:01, 10:02, 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, by the way, Antoine is definitely has transitioned into leveraging his experience as a former athlete towards making a sustainable living as a videographer. Are you aware of any of former athletes that are doing such? I mean, BJ also is in another sports medicine or some high tech company, whatever. Are there any other success stories that you know about from our
Well,
generation?
Let me answer your question this way. When I started Extreme Velocity Track Club, I always remember thinking about my athletes having a phase two. Phase will be the athletic side, and phase two will be the beyond or after athletics.
Right.
And I'm happy to say most of them are transitioning into the real world self, the later selves, and doing pretty extraordinary. We have a bunch of athletes who not only passed through the club, but a lot of them came up with multiple degrees. A lot of them are top people in society back home. Delwyn, he came to park with me. Now he's the president of the athletic association. So he went through the process of being a junior athlete all the way up to the top of the ladder. So that's a success story. Virgil is doing her thing all over. Yeah. And that's has always been my thing. Ryan Phillip, I don't know if you know Ryan Phillip. He was one of my shot putters. I was looking at the news the other day, and there was an interview, and I heard the voice. I'm like, that voice sounds familiar. He was speaking about the water situation in St. Kitts and how they're going to water situation. And Ryan was the spokesperson for the water department. So stuff like that.
Puts a smile on your face, man.
Of course. And I have a bunch of athletes in college right now. You got K-John, you got They're doing such a good job. What they're doing, and track and field has been an avenue for so many young people in St. Kitts to reach their true potential. St. Kitts Nevis.
Wow. So let's get into the now.
Okay.
What have you been up to lately? Because I see you have a coaching channel on social media. How's that been going for you? And who does your video work? It's impeccable. I love it.
I do my own video.
What do you use to edit? Just out of curiosity.
What's the editing tool? It's some app I have here. Luma Fusion.
Okay, I don't know about that, but yeah, your stuff looks top notch. So I got it.
Yeah, Luma Fusion. It's a good app for doing stuff like that. But I'm transitioning again. For the last couple of years, of course, I'm coaching at my high school here. I was given an opportunity to do head cross country and track and field. That wasn't my intention when I first came, but someone spilled the beans that I went to the Olympics, and then I got a coaching job at the high school. So that's one aspect. And then I started my own little club here. It's an extension of Extreme Velocity, but
As expected, yeah.
Huh?
As expected, Extreme lives on, man.
Yeah, he lives on, and that's the legacy I want to leave. But so I started a little club. We had like two athletes, but last week actually, I merged with a friend of mine who lives in Houston, Texas. He's an experienced coach, and he has the same type of philosophy and mentality that I have. And we decided to come together and let's see if we could potentially start a professional program here. My goal now is to put plans in place, write a vision, write a mission, create something that could help us to develop athletes at this level, at the performance level, so that they could compete with world-class athletes. So I'm moving into that phase now to try to see whether or not I could coach at that level and help some other athletes reach their potential.
Okay. I can't wait. I can't see what these stories are going to be with you making your comeback, with you influencing these other young lives, and the future is definitely bright. You know, so I won't end this before I talk about your sense of fashion, and you've always been an S man. And you know, I gotta say that, you know, you are giving your wife many reasons not to have wandering eyes. So keep it up.
What do you?
You dress well, man.
I just have on a shirt, button-up shirt, Larry. That's it.
No, man. When you ready to dress, you I've seen your pictures, and
Yeah.
is she behind? Is she behind your wardrobe?
Yeah, she buy my stuff, man. Give her all.
Whoa, okay. But she knows why, because she wants to make sure
Oh, that's
that
right.
she likes what she sees.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, let's look at it that way. She gotta make sure what she has is top notch, so she doesn't have to look elsewhere. But kudos, man.
Exactly. Okay, I appreciate her. No, man, I'm be honest with you. She does a good job with. She's very fashionable, and she knows.
Oh yeah, we could see.
Yeah, she knows my size, so I'll be able to wear the clothes well, I guess. I don't know, but that's not my focus, Larry.
How have you managed to keep that union as vibrant for the past 20 years? Because you guys seem to continue to have that young love that isn't looking like it's going away anytime soon.
Well, I'm grateful that God has given me opportunity to meet someone who understands it's a team effort rather than an individual effort, and we understand some basic concepts I learned as a young boy. Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. That's something we learned in the Bible years ago. So we try not to take disagreements and extend them for long periods of time.
But what if you live like in like Alaska, where the sun like stays up for like 3-4 months? Then you can't.
That's a long period. But since I don't live in Alaska, right? I really do. But yeah, that's the analogy. But what I'm basically saying, though, a lot of times, you got to be aware there are gonna be disagreements. Sometimes we try to extend disagreements for such a long period. It festers and become worse than it should actually be. And I think we're very good as a team. Myself and my wife, we solve issues quickly, and we try to support each other. And I think that's very good also. We're very supportive of each other. Her dreams, she supports mine. As I said, I left in 2003 and we just got married. Wow. A lot of wives would have said, you know what, forget you. She was able to support me in that. I know she's doing her stuff. I'm trying my best to support her as much as possible. We're a good team, and it's about teamwork, and we're getting where we need to get because we're a good team.
And I remember your son Dante used to go everywhere you went.
Yeah, I don't leave him anywhere.
Right. Has he followed in your footsteps as an athlete, or he's taken the music route, or none of the above?
My son, he doesn't do anything that I do.
Wow.
Has decided to go into digital art.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so he's actually very good at that. I can't do that. I guess he wanted to be his own person, and I'm fine with it. So I never pressured him to do track. His uncle used to always want him to do track, Dalton, but I never pressured him to do track. I never pressured him to do music. So he had his own path, and I'm happy I didn't pressure him because he's very good at what he does, and he's very good. So I'm glad I did what I did, and he doesn't do anything I do, Larry. Nothing. That's it.
Wow. So speaking about music, When I first came to Sinkers, I never knew you were into music. It was only after 2010 I got to appreciate your talent. And what's your background? I know the guitar, but what else? You do keyboards also, right?
Yeah, I started on keyboard when I was a little boy. My dad showed me keyboard, but when I became 13, I started the bass guitar. And then when I became 16, my uncle showed me some stuff on the guitar, and then I went into guitar. I think guitar is my favorite still. It's more natural to me. Keyboard is more convenient.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, you play keyboard also, but you're a trumpet player.
I don't play keyboard. I play the fool, and then I play the trumpet.
Okay, beside that, in addition to playing that, but no, you're a very good keyboard player, Larry.
No, I am not. I'm telling you.
Opinion,
Okay.
in my opinion, in my
Okay.
humble opinion, I think you're a very good keyboard player
Okay.
because keyboard is convenient. You could go to gigs and you could record your own music, and you don't need much help from others when you understand the keyboard. But when you play the guitar, I feel more of a love for the music when I play guitar. Just like I'm assuming you feel love for the trumpet.
It's 3 valves, Donnie. 3 valves. That's why the trumpet is loved. 3 valves.
Yeah,
I don't have to
3
worry about anything else but 3 valves and playing from my heart.
That's it. I have 6 strings, so that's guitar, but I just love the feel of the guitar and how you could make your changes and your runs and your licks and your riffs. I just love the guitar. That's my thing.
Are you still playing in Texas?
Yeah, I play at a church here called Christ Temple Apostolic Church in Houston. I play every Sunday for that church.
I love it. And, we pretty much come to the end of the show. I mean, this is a very, very short, snappy, conversation, but I normally end with a rapid fire session with 10 questions. I ask them first person, and you just give an answer, which you know the answers to. And after that, we'll be done. You ready?
Okay. Hopefully I am.
All right. Number 1. This is what I miss the most from being away from St. Kitts.
I miss the island, period.
Number 2. For me, music is...
My lifeline.
This is one race I know if I could do over, I would have definitely had a breakthrough.
That's a hard question. I think it was Nationals. What year it was? 2001, I think.
Okay, there was a 2002 Nationals where that was in Sandy Point, and
You beat me up.
right. Okay. Okay. Good. Remember. All right. Number 4. Genie comes up to me and says, "I will give you speed to either run sub 10 or sub 20." This would be my response.
Give me speed for sub 20.
Sub 20. Okay. Number 5. This is why I know for sure I have the best wife in the world.
I can't tell you why.
Okay. Number 6. I hope Dante takes after me in this area. Oh,
Resilience.
resilience. Okay, nice. Number 7. A track star I will always have tremendous amount of respect for is...
Kim Collins.
I knew that was the answer. Number 8. If I had to know the absolute truth to any question, I would ask this question.
Larry, that's a tough.
That's okay. Did Tupac, who killed Tupac?
Okay, who killed Tupac? I don't know.
Or did Trump really lose? They were coming within ages. Okay, fine. Number 9. I found a time ship and I've been able to take myself back to the year 2000 and seen a younger version of me. This is what I would say to myself.
Everything will be okay.
All right. And number 10. It's the constant question I ask everybody. What's the best part about being on this show?
The host.
You're too kind, Donnie. You're too kind. You're too kind.
Before I go, Larry, I want to say something though.
What's up, man?
I want everybody to sign on to Bestimony.
Oh my gosh.
Your platform, right? That's an awesome platform. Instead of sleeping on Facebook and stuff like that, you could go to Bestimony, support my guy Larry. I know he invests a lot of time and effort and money in the platform, and I want people. Larry, provide the link if you could.
Just go to bestimony.com and you'd see a nice little video from the founder and the CEO, which apparently is me. And And it's the next big thing that we never knew existed. And it's the most positive social media platform that we never knew we needed.
Like, how could people invest in that? Is it public shared?
Let's talk after the show now, because there's a next
Okay.
phase. There's a next phase coming up. So that what people are seeing is just a tip off the iceberg, but there's a whole lot
Okay.
more, a whole lot more. And
Sounds good.
I'm being intentional with these lockdown days to sit down and get back to the strategy board, strategies phase, and literally just do what I did to get it to where it was, so that I can do that whole preparation meeting opportunity. So yeah, you asked the right question. So it will talk, man.
Definitely.
And with that, people, it's been lovely. This has just been what I needed, and I'm hoping that's exactly what you guys can take from this. It was positive, and you got to see a little bit more about my history in track and field and my passion, and also with somebody who has influenced my life. Because if it wasn't for Donnie taking me under his wing during those incipient years in track and field here in St. Kitts, I might have just gotten frustrated or just not even come to training, because definitely I was teased a lot, whole lot. At the track meets, I was teased. Delwyn, I'm not gonna forget you. Irvin, I'm not gonna forget you. Kevin, I'm not gonna forget you. Virgil, I'm not gonna forget you. You know,
The old crew.
don't forget what happened in Colombia. You know, okay. But Donnie, you came, always had my back, and yeah, you were my guardian angel. So definitely,
Appreciate it.
you're a part of my success story in life, and will always continue to be that way. So thank you for coming on board, and to everybody else, I want to remind you guys to be kind and to spread love, always. See you guys next week.
All right, Larry.
At The Cable, we know being local means supporting our own, and our customers deserve the best. Our customers deserve platinum. So now, all customers of The Cable qualify for our new Platinum Loyalty Card. An elite MasterCard experience that lets you support your own like never before. Instantly send money to any Platinum Loyalty member at home or around the world. Shop online or in person anywhere MasterCard is accepted. Save with no interest and 0 annual fees. And the best part? If you're a Cable customer, you are already pre-approved. Just visit the Cable building in Basse-Terre or sign up online at www.thecable.net. Get your Platinum Loyalty Card today, because you deserve platinum. Terms and conditions apply.